staying on top of things these days. It just feels like you're constantly fighting this flood of information, right?
That's
Try to dig into something important, something specific, and bam, you're just lost. So much noise.
It's overwhelming. And that's really the sweet spot we're talking about here. Tools like ChatGPT, they're evolving to try and help with exactly that problem.
Okay.
And actually, there's a pretty big development on that front, something that's now hitting a much, much wider audience.
All right, so what's the scoop? I've been hearing things about ChatGPT's deep research tool. It was paid only before, wasn't it?
That's right.
But now there's this lightweight version for everyone, even free users. What's the real deal here? What are we trying to get to the bottom of in this deep dive?
Yeah, so our mission today is pretty straightforward. We want to give you the lowdown on this new lightweight deep research feature from ChatGPT. We need to understand what it can actually do for you. You know, what are its limitations? And importantly, how does it sort of stack up in the bigger picture? We've been digging into reports from PC Mag, The Verge, and a couple from Tech Radar. They all covered this announcement back in late April.
Okay, got the sources lined up. So deep research, it sounds pretty intensive. What does it actually do?
Well, think of it like having an AI research assistant. It's built to tackle more complex questions than your, standard quick chatbot chat.
Right.
We call it agentic. That means you give it a detailed query, something like, trace the evolution of renewable energy adoption in Europe over the past decade, maybe?
Okay, something chunky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it will independently go out, search the web, sift through information until it feels it has a pretty comprehensive answer.
It just goes off and does the work itself. That sounds like a big step up from just asking a quick question.
It is.
So what do you get back when it's finished all that digging?
It delivers a structured report. And this is really important.
Okay.
It includes citations.
Okay. That's crucial.
Absolutely. You can actually see the sources it pulled from to build its findings. That makes it genuinely useful for things where you need confidence in the info, like maybe pulling together a literature review.
Or serious market analysis, maybe.
Sure. Market research.
Mm-hmm.
Even those big life decisions where you really need solid information.
So it's not just about getting an answer fast. It's about getting something you can actually hopefully trust and double check.
That's the idea.
But I imagine this kind of deep dive, it must take a bit longer than a normal chat query.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Because it's actively searching, it's reading, synthesizing information from multiple places online. A deep research report might take anywhere from, say, 5 minutes up to maybe 30 minutes to generate.
5 to 30 minutes, okay.
It's really designed for those tasks where that extra time investment pays off in a much more thorough, fact-checked kind of result. Mm-hmm. And worth remembering, you can also upload your own files, spreadsheets, PDFs, whatever, to give it extra context.
Useful. Okay, so that's the original deep research. Now this lightweight version, why make a new one? And what's the key difference for people thinking about using it?
Right. The lightweight version is a pretty big deal because it's the first time this kind of research tower has been offered to ChatGPT's free users.
Right, that's the hook.
Yeah, before you had to be a subscriber. There's also a change under the hood, technically speaking. The lightweight version runs on a variant of OpenAI's 4 Mini model.
The 4 Mini.
Yeah, whereas the original deep research used a version of ChatGPT 3.
Okay, and for us non-engineers, what does that model switch actually mean in practice?
Well, OpenAI describes the 4 Mini as being nearly as intelligent as the model behind the original. But crucially, it's also significantly cheaper for them to run.
The cost factor.
That cost saving is almost certainly a big reason they can offer this to free users now. The main practical difference you'll likely notice is that the lightweight version gives shorter responses.
Shorter.
But OpenAI is stressing that they're aiming to maintain the same level of, quote, depth and quality, just in a more concise output. It feels like it's optimized for speed, efficiency, and putting less strain on their servers.
Interesting trade-off, like getting the executive summary instead of the full report, maybe.
Yeah.
Has there been any word on whether this faster, cheaper version holds up on accuracy?
Yeah, OpenAI did share a comparison graph. Tech Radar reported on this. It showed the accuracy of this lightweight 4 Mini model compared against both the original deep research tool and the standard O3 model.
Okay.
We don't have the exact graph in front of us, but the fact they highlighted this comparison suggests they feel reasonably good about the lightweight version's reliability, even if, its performance might have some subtle differences from the full-power original.
Right, makes sense. Okay, free access sounds great. But there's always a catch, isn't there? What are the limits? How much can we actually use this new lightweight thing?
Exactly. You hit the nail on the head. For free ChatGPT users, the limit is 5. 5 deep research queries per month.
Just 5. Wow.
Yeah, and those are specifically for the lightweight version, so you'll definitely want to be judicious about when you use them. Pick your moments.
Okay, 5 for free users. What about paying subscribers?
Right. For the paid plans, it gets a bit more layered. If you're on ChatGPT Plus, Team, Enterprise, or Education, you now get a total of 25 deep research queries per month. That's combined for both the original and the lightweight versions.
25 total.
Yeah.
Okay.
And here's an interesting bit. Once you use up your 25 queries on the original, more powerful version, any further research requests you make will automatically default to using the lightweight one instead.
So it's like a fallback. A safety net, maybe? You can keep researching even after hitting the main limit, just with the lightweight version.
Precisely. That seems to be the idea. Now, for ChatGPT Pro users, they get a much bigger allowance, 250 queries per month on the main deep research tool.
250, that's a lot more.
It is. And if they somehow manage to burn through all of those, they get an additional 250 uses, specifically on the lightweight version.
Okay, Pro gets a serious bump. What about Enterprise and Education?
They're getting access to the lightweight option slightly later, expected next week, so early May 2025. They'll have the same initial cap as Team accounts, which is 25 queries, and then that same automatic fallback to the lightweight version after the limit.
It really feels like they're trying to carefully balance offering more access while managing the sheer computing power this must take, right?
It definitely seems that way.
How does this stack up against competitors? I think you mentioned TechRadar brought up others.
Yes, they did. TechRadar specifically pointed to Google's Gemini. Their advanced plan, for example, offers up to 20 of these kinds of in-depth research queries per day.
Per day? Wow, that's way more.
It's significantly higher, yeah, compared to ChatGPT's free tier or even most of its paid options. And even Google's free Gemini tier gives you 10 such queries a month, which is double what ChatGPT free users are getting.
10 versus 5. Okay.
And apparently this difference in usage limits has kicked off some discussion online, like on X. Some users are questioning if ChatGPT's new free offering really provides comparable value, especially if you do a lot of research.
Yeah, I can see that. It's clear OpenAI isn't operating in a vacuum here. Users are definitely going to compare based on their needs and what they're willing to pay.
For sure. And it's probably fair to say this move also keeps ChatGPT competitive with tools like Perplexity.
Perplexity.
Right. They've been offering quite similar comprehensive search and reporting features to all their users for some time now. So OpenAI giving free users a taste, even a limited one, of deep research.
It feels like a direct response, doesn't it?
It certainly looks like it. It's likely aimed at attracting new people, maybe getting some free users interested enough to upgrade for more usage or the original, more powerful version.
Makes sense from a business perspective. So looking down the road a bit, what's next for deep research? Any hints about future upgrades?
Well, the sources we looked at suggest OpenAI does have plans to make deep research even more useful.
Like what?
One key thing mentioned for future updates is adding visual elements right into the reports. Think charts, data visualizations, that kind of thing.
Well, that would be huge.
Wouldn't it? It would make digesting complex information, especially data-heavy stuff or trends, so much easier. Just seeing it visually laid out.
Yeah, getting a chart alongside the text and the citations, that'd be a real step up.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try and boil this all down. What's the main takeaway for someone listening right now?
I think the core message is this. You, even if you're a free ChatGPT user, now have access to a genuinely powerful AI research tool.
Okay.
Now, granted, those 5 monthly queries on the lightweight version are limited, but they still offer a real chance to do some proper in-depth research on topics that really matter to you.
A starting point, at least.
Exactly. And for paying subscribers, the overall query allowances have effectively increased, especially with that lightweight fallback, ensuring you have more access overall to these advanced research features.
This has been a really helpful breakdown, actually. It's pretty exciting seeing this kind of capability become, well, a bit more democratic, even with the strings attached.
It is an interesting development.
So for you listening, here's maybe something to think about. How might even having just a few AI-powered research queries each month change how you approach learning or finding information? If you are a free user with those 5 monthly shots, what are the absolute highest priority questions you'd use them on? Makes you think, doesn't it? Consider the balance this new power versus its limits. Does this lightweight, deep research really meet your needs for staying properly informed today? Something to ponder.